This podcast is brought to you in part by PNP Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. In this episode of DeREZD, we're going to be talking about Twitch streaming, lots and lots and lots of free games, which we love, and Seth Rogen. Alrighty, everybody, and welcome to the DeREZD podcast, episode number 5. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me as always, and smiling away, Will Kelly. Will, how the hell are you?
Doing awesome, buddy. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. It is like the coldest place in the universe in Winnipeg right now. I am hoping that I can just stay in my house and stay warm. I'm thanking whoever I need to thank that I decided to replace my furnace last year because it was old and not working very well when it wasn't that bad, because if I still had my old furnace last year, I would have died. It is just so cold, man. Oh, I'm tired of cold weather. Can I come move out with you? Like, do you have a couch I could sleep on?
Absolutely. I have a spare bedroom right here.
Oh, and then I could be in all your podcasts. I would just sit there and just kind of stare creepily behind you as you do them.
We could do live in studio. You know, a little known fact about Colorado, we have more sunny days in Colorado than we do Southern California. So it's a little known fact. It doesn't snow here that much. We get a couple each year, but nothing like you and your negative 50 degrees below up there.
Oh, it's ridiculous. That's what the wind chill always makes it sound worse. Well, it's bad. It doesn't make it sound worse than it is. It's all bad. So
because wind chill is what it feels like, right?
That's right. Yeah. It's so cold. It's not even funny. Tomorrow my plan is to stay in the house and not do anything. And not like close all the windows and all the blinds. And like, of course the windows are closed, but close all the blinds and everything, and just pretend that it's warm outside, that we're on a beach somewhere, because the reality is depressing. So I'm going to try to not think about the reality.
Well, it's a perfect opportunity. You should actually be thankful that there's nothing better to do than stay inside and play video games all day.
That is true. That is what I wanted to say. I'm enjoying this, although I'm not, but I am. I'm going to play lots of PS4. It's going to be a good thing.
Nice.
All right, well, let's get into the show. What's new with you, Will? We haven't talked in hours, so how have you been?
You know, lots have changed in the last 24 hours since we last spoke. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
And I'm done with work week, so that's good.
Me too.
Me too. I have, like you, the cold is not my excuse, but I plan to play lots of video games this weekend. So, yeah,
Yes.
That's about it.
That is good. Just wanted to mention it here on the show is Will and I did something new yesterday. We did a Let's Play Hearthstone a couple weeks back, which was kind of our first foray into let's see what we can do for live streaming our gameplay stuff. And that went over really well. It actually worked really, really good. But sticks and fur. Okay, I was like, "What are you trying to tell me something?" No, you're not.
No, sorry.
And last night we did something different. First off, we renamed our Let's Play series to The Grid, as in the game Grid from Tron DeREZD. We have a theme going on here, but it's far enough away from copyright, so we're not going to get sued by Disney, which is a good thing. And we did our first playthrough of Minecraft on the PlayStation 3. We had some technical difficulties, still trying to kind of wrangle down all the bugs in my live stream setup. Going from like the Wii U, going from the PC, everything seems great, but for some reason, when I switched over to the PlayStation 3, I think it was because I was bringing in the video feed at 1080p maybe instead of 720p from the Wii U. Maybe that was the difference. I'm not sure. I'm going to work on it this weekend. But there was some audio and video hiccups, which was not so good. But I think the show went really well. We posted the first one up on vgpodcast.com. It's up on YouTube. You can watch it. And you can tune in to each and every episode. We're going to try to do it every week or so and spend about an hour. I don't know. Me digging holes for Will to fall in, teaching him how to run up to a creeper and not attack it so that it explodes in your face. All those fun things that you do to friends when they're exploring Minecraft for the first time.
Absolutely. I mean, my mistakes are your mistakes, so you don't have to live through them. You can just watch me live through them and laugh at me as I dig a hole into the earth, into a pit of lava, and then get lost and not see Lloyd again for the rest of the night.
All those things happened last night. Unfortunately, we didn't have we had video, but we didn't have any of our audio in there, so it was just kind of really weird and boring. But yeah, we were having a race to the center of the earth. We ended up both popping through and falling into a big lava pit. So that was awesome. I caught that on video. I'll have to save that little chunk. And then, we got lost and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. What did you think, Will? Did you like Minecraft?
I had a blast, and I really was surprised pleasantly how much I enjoyed the experience and just learning. And all of my preconceptions and the things I was worried about were not an issue at all. I've said before, but the graphics was always my sticking point, which I know is kind of stupid and a little bit shallow in ways. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of refreshing because the frame rate is so high because of the low-res textures that it was actually really cool. And when you're in that first-person view and actually experiencing it, it's a lot more immersive, and it all makes sense. I mean, you brought up a good point. You're building in blocks, and so the world, it kind of has to be that way or things just wouldn't make sense. So
right. Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of funny because once you've played for a little bit, you start thinking in the term of blocks. So you'll be sitting there on your couch and you'll be looking at like a house or something, and it's like, okay, so I could build this if I just did this, this, and this, and I need this wool block and this colored dyed wool, and I need this glass. And I was like, oh yeah, I could build that. And then you get into the world of Minecraft and you start putting it together based on what you saw in real life. It's kind of fun that way. Yeah, it's good.
Prometheus in the chat room is saying he hasn't gotten into Minecraft because he doesn't know what the hook is. And the hook for me last night that I realized, and I was actually talking to my boss about this today, is that because the worlds are randomized and each time you go in there it's going to be completely different world.
Yep.
You really get this sense of exploration, and that sense to me is I never get that anymore in video games because everything's a narration and everything. Even a game like GTA, I mean, you kind of learn the world, and when you see something for the first time, you're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But when you actually walk into a cave and you're like, I have no idea of how deep this cave is. I'm the only person to ever see this cave.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, it elicits something in you that's just really, it's cool.
Yeah, there's no game fact for Minecraft for what to do and where to go. There's things to tell you how to build certain things. There's tips and tricks. There's even people that will create a world, save the seed that is generated, and then post where all the location of all the chests and stuff in the world are. So there are people that kind of game the system, but for the most part, you just jump in, you create a world, you let it randomize, and you're in a new place. Like when I spawned in, I was on top of a freaking jungle tree, which is, if I would have jumped off the edge, I would have died. It's like, okay, that's interesting. I didn't expect that. So yeah, it's a fun game. I can't wait to get into some more of these Let's Plays with you.
Yeah, me
some
too.
More of the grids with you.
There you go.
That's going to be awkward to say for a while. But yeah, check it out over at vgpodcast.com. Let us know what you think. It was fun to put together. Hopefully it was just as fun to watch. And you can let us know what you think of it by contacting us through all of our contact methods. vgpodcast@gmail.com is our email. You can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG or you can even find us on Twitter. I'm at DazMe on Twitter, and Will, you're on Twitter as well.
Yep, I am at iLiam.
And follow us, check us out, shoot us some emails and comments, and we'd love to talk to you. There's also the forums. So if you head over to vgpodcast.com and click the forums button, you can get in and comment. And the cool thing about the way the site is set up, if you comment on one of the blog posts, it actually gets appended to one of the forum topics. So it generates more content in the forums as well. So if you like talking and like talking to other gamers, that might be a neat place to check out from time to time. And speaking of checking out from time to time, Will, we received some voicemails. Can you believe it?
I can't. Finally, someone called into the show, huh?
Yeah, it took just 4 episodes for someone to finally be guilted into sending in some voicemails. So we have 2 today, but they're from the same person. But let's play them back to back, and we'll go from there.
Hello, DeREZD. This is Justin, a.k.a. NyQuil Dreams. I want that gamer score and that trophy, so I'm calling in. I want to welcome you, Lloyd, to the PS4. I've had mine since launch, and I've been really enjoying it. I'm glad it sounds like you're having a really good you're having a blast playing it as well. Also, I just want to tell you guys I love the show so far. I really like the new host is great. I'm sorry I'm blanking on the name because I did not prepare anything before I called. So anyway, I wanted to say how much I enjoy the show, and I am looking forward to future episodes. Looking forward to the James Bond 007 episode. And I just want to tell you guys I love what you guys are doing. And I look forward to more shows, and hopefully I'll make it to some live streaming at some point. And when I actually have something worthwhile saying, maybe I'll call again. All right, thanks. Have a good one, guys, and keep doing what you're doing. Thanks. Bye.
Cool. So that was our first voicemail on DeREZD. Will, what do you think? Do you think it wins something? Do you think it deserves something?
I think it deserves maybe I don't know, a trophy or like 1,000 gamer score or something.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you got it. NyQuil Dreams. You just got 1,000 gamer score. It unlocked all at once. Check your gamer card and look for DeREZD on there. It's there somewhere. You might have to look for a long time though.
Yes. And if you can't find it, just go on the forums and complain, and we'll get the support team working on that for you as quickly as we can.
I'm gonna hit my gamer score button right beside me here to force it to make sure it's there. Oh, it's there. One more time. Okay, there. You should have it, NyQuil Dreams. It should be there. And he sent in a second voicemail right after the first one, so I thought we'd play that one as well because it has a question that we can answer right after.
Hello, Lloyd. Will. I apologize. Last time I called a couple minutes ago, I didn't say both your names. I just felt that was rude. Anyway, I did actually think of something worthwhile to say. So, you guys were talking last episode about the new competition in the consoles and just how great PS4 is doing, but also Xbox One is doing pretty decently itself. I just think the competition is great. Now, if we could only just get that Wii U stepping up a little bit and get a little more competition there. But I just want to know what you guys think this competition, this new, two consoles doing well and competing and, getting, great exclusives. We got Infamous Second Son coming, and then obviously Titanfall looks amazing. I just wonder what you guys think. You see this console war shaken out, or do you think it's just going to be kind of like last generation where you get a couple exclusives here and there, but the games are all the same, pretty much? I mean, if you have one, you can play them all. I was just wondering what you guys think about that, especially now that PS4 does have a lead. I was wondering what you guys were thinking about, how this is going to shake out. I mean, obviously we're all speculating, but I just think it's kind of fun, at the beginning to look at it, and then maybe, 5-6 years down the road, we'll see how wrong we all were. So, just wanted to say thanks for doing what you guys do, and I hope this call was a little more worthwhile than my first one. But
cool. All right. Well, thanks, NyQuil Dreams, for sending that in. That is awesome. And we gave you gamer score, but what if you're a PlayStation 3 user? Maybe we should give you oh, there you go. There's some trophy
what
things.
What was that?
Oh, let's do it again. There you go. Oh, so is that good? How about one more time, just to be sure?
We gotta keep it even.
Okay, one more time. There we go. So you should have a platinum sitting there in your PlayStation 3 as well. Just go look around, and it's there, right? Maybe. Cool.
And you deserve it.
So Justin, we're gonna try to answer your question. So Will, the new gen, the current gen right now, do you think it's going to be the same as the last gen, which is very few true exclusives on each platform and a lot of cross-platform games, or do you think things are going to kind of diverge a little bit on this generation?
Yeah, I think the best way to figure out where you're going is to look at where you've been, and I think that this console gen's going to mirror last gens. And
Yeah.
I think these, for devs and publishers, they want to get their games for the most part on in as many hands as they possibly can. And so having non-console exclusives, I think, more times than not, benefits those devs and publishers more than anyone.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sony and Microsoft would prefer it differently, but you and I, we talk a lot about from different perspectives on the console war, and neither one of us are really fanboys, but I definitely say that I have a preference for Xbox. And even though I say that, I'm not happy that Titanfall is coming out on Xbox One only. I think that, again, I was so blown away by that experience. I want all gamers everywhere to be able to experience that. And I mean, that's not a business opinion. That's just
Right.
kind of like me as a gamer. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be like last gen, and there's going to be few exclusives. I mean, they'll be here and there, but and traditional exclusives too, I expect. Like, I think Naughty Dogs is going to stay with Sony as an example.
Right.
So what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same. I think you're going to have like 2 or 3 really big exclusives every year on each platform that are going to get people talking trash across the war. The war zone of the console wars that people in forums like to talk about. So Reddits and all those other forums. You're going to have like Infamous Second Son this month. And then you're also going to have Titanfall this month. And those are the first real big exclusives. I mean, there was Knack and there was some other like day one sort of things, but those aren't really big ones. But you're going to probably have 2 or 3 really huge AAA exclusives that are going to get people salivating in each one. If you want to get a console that has the most exclusives, though, that would be the Wii U, because Nintendo comes out with like half a dozen plus games a year on the Wii U that are true exclusives because they're making it for their own console.
Mm-hmm.
But then you'll see pretty much nothing else on that console as well. So I don't think. I think this console generation is going to be shorter, but I don't think too much else is going to change. Other than by the end of this console generation, I would say maybe 75% of all games will be downloaded digitally. I think there's going to be a huge change for the most part for most people, where they're not going to go to stores anymore and buy this stuff. They'll order from Amazon if they can wait. If not, they're just going to buy it day one on their console and download it that way. Especially with the PlayStation Network speeding up. Like, I downloaded the beta for the new Final Fantasy MMO, and it was like 6 gigs, and it didn't even take a half hour. Like, it was fast. PlayStation
awesome.
3, slow, like downloading like an 800 meg file. I remember there was a patch for, I think it was Saints Row, and it took about an hour for it to download the patch and patch the game. And that's like 800 megs, not 6+ gigs. So it's really going to change the way that we play games, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think if it was up to them, that process would come to fruition a lot faster than it's going to.
Yeah.
I agree. In the next couple of years, I definitely see that shift, and well before the end of this console cycle. But it's just about weaning off their retailers, and it's going to be that fine line where eventually over time it's going to have to become acceptable, and there's going to be ways that they're going to be able to stay in that game, they being the retailers. But yeah, I agree. And I think, I don't know, I'm excited about it. Towards the end of last console gen, I stopped trading in my games. Oddly enough, this gen I have been trading in my games. But if we transition to a almost all digital model or predominantly, then I feel like the opportunity for digital sales. I mean, I guess this is my Xbox side coming out because you get plenty of those on PlayStation Plus. But there's no reason that other than the fact that consumers will buy it, there's no reason a digital copy of a game should cost the exact same as the retail version.
Yeah. And that's been for me the biggest thing. Like I download very few games, like full retail releases on the day that they come out as a digital download. But I'm buying a lot of games that are on sale, like picking up Lego Marvel for like $25. It's crazy. Vita's having a sale right now, and I picked up a bunch of games for I spent $20 and I got like 3 games that are used to be retail releases across the PlayStation 3 and the Vita, and it's just like, why do I want to go to a store anymore? There's no point to buy a used game for me anymore because I'm getting other people's garbage essentially, because they don't treat their stuff the same way I do. Sometimes you buy the disc and it's scratched, and that usually doesn't make a difference. But what if it does one day? If I can buy a game off of the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Live Marketplace or whatever for $20, $25, I mean, that's perfect. And PlayStation Plus, I mean, you're getting games that came out 6 months ago and you're getting them for free and you're downloading them. And the best part about how Sony has set up their network is you can queue it up and just turn your system off, do it right before bed, turn your system off. The next day you come to play your games, they're there and they're installed and they're ready to go. I mean, that's the future. Mm-hmm. I said 75%. That's probably a little high, but I know there's going to be a lot of hardcore people that are going to do it, and those are probably the people that buy the most games. So it's going to be a huge change, and by the time the next consoles come around, maybe there won't even be discs with games on them anymore. It'll just be a streaming box or something with a huge ass hard drive inside of it that you're going to be downloading stuff to.
Yeah, we're going to get slimmer consoles towards the end of this gen, and they're all going to have 4 tera hard drives in them.
Yeah, and they're all going to be solid state, so they're going to be ultra fast. And you're also going to have to trade your car in to buy this console, is what it's going to be as well.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thanks, Justin, for sending in your questions. Hopefully, we answered them enough. If not, send us another voicemail, and we might give you some more achievements and other things as well. Cool. All right. Well, let's get into end of the line. This is our big news item of the week, and we thought the big news item this week, Will, was live streaming. So what's been happening in live streaming this week that is such a big thing that we want to talk about?
Well, outside of Twitch Plays Pokemon, the biggest Twitch...
I was watching that today. They were taking on the Final Four, and it was just like watching. I'm like, no, don't use Surf. Oh, you use Surf. You're going to die. Oh, he's sleeping now. He's fully healed. Oh, you guys are terrible. But it's just like there's 10,000 people playing it, and they got to the final boss battles. It's ridiculous how cool that is.
Yeah, I actually watched it today too for that same reason, and it's so cool. I mean, people on the internet are so creative. I would have never saw this in a million years, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the big Twitch or the big live streaming news this week was the announcement of Twitch being released, Twitch broadcasting being released on the Xbox One on March 11th in conjunction with Titanfall's release. So this is cool, and I almost mentioned this, not to brag, but I almost mentioned this a couple weeks ago that it would be really smart of Microsoft to get this out the door, Twitch streaming out the door for the launch of Titanfall, because it's, I would argue that this game is the biggest release for Microsoft this year, simply because it's that exclusive and it could very well be that system seller.
Totally. And it's also the game that was supposed to be multi-platform. They bought out they bought out exclusivity for Xbox consoles, and they also told them, it's like, okay, well, it's coming out in 360 and Xbox One. You're going to delay the 360 version for 2 weeks. The Xbox One is going to have a 2-week exclusivity window before the 360 version even comes out. So you know that they're really hopeful that people buy this game.
Yeah. Well, and so if the more you can even get that game out there and having it easily live streamable for people is going to be huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the PS4 streaming and the success of that, so from December 23rd to January 3rd, 20% of Twitch broadcasts were on the PS4.
It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
And it's so easy. Like ever since I got my PS4, if I'm feeling social and not just wanting to escape into my own world, I hit the share button, I turn on stream. Even if I don't have a microphone hooked up or a camera hooked up, I'm streaming it. And why not? Like, you'll get a couple people that pop in. I was streaming Lego Marvel when I first started playing it, and for an hour or two, and I had like 5 people watching me play Lego. I'm not talking, I'm not doing anything, I'm not being like a good host and interacting with the people watching. I hit share and I hit stream, and people came in and watched it. I'm in the place right now where I'm when I'm playing a game, it's like, well, why won't I stream this?
Yeah.
Well, what's the harm? What could possibly go wrong? And it's so easy, and it's huge. Like when we did our Minecraft thing last night, we had I had 12 people watching the stream, which we didn't really advertise at all. We just kind of did it. And a lot of the people watching were just people that were surfing on Twitch and found it through the Minecraft PS3 search that they did. And now I got like 5 friend requests from doing that because people want to play Minecraft with me. It's like, this is awesome. This is what I've always wanted from playing video games. Is I wanted a way to reach out immediately and touch the people, like wherever they are, saying, hey, play games with me. Right. And this allows you to do that just by streaming, and hopefully finding some like-minded people that want to play games with you because they like watching you play. It's pretty cool.
Well, and I think that's it right there, is gaming as a communal experience. I think the modern day gamer, because of multiplayer games and the beauty of always on connectivity, is that we are social people and we like playing games with people who enjoy the same types of games, and being able to do that. And I think the big news here, we'll get into some specifics on the Xbox Live functionality of the Twitch app, but why Twitch is such a big story, or live streaming, let's just say live streaming. If you look at the stats of 25% were PS4 users, the barrier to entry for live streaming before this was either you had to have a dedicated capture device that you would have to connect to your console and still connect to your computer, or just a setup on your computer with potentially expensive hardware and a little bit of technical knowledge. And having it built into the consoles, it pretty much cuts out every barrier. And like you said, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, totally. Like the cheapest that you could do it, say a year ago, was around $500. You buy a cheap PC, like just some Acer $300 laptop or whatever, but then you get the Elgato Game Capture HD, which is about $150. And that is about as cheap as you could go to live stream these games. It's not very expensive, but that's the cost of an Xbox One. I mean, that's a lot for maybe some of the younger people that want to do this live streaming. Now you don't even have to do that. You just hit share on the PlayStation 4, or you say Xbox broadcast this, or whatever the code words secret phrase is on Xbox, and it's just going to happen. And I mean, that's huge. And it's funny because I just started live streaming games, and then now the PS4 comes out and allows me to do it even better and quicker. And I have all this expensive equipment that I have access to.
Well, and a good thing to point out is with the sharing on both the Xbox and PS4 is that although you don't have all the options that you would on a PC running custom hardware or custom software, you still have the main pieces that really elevate a stream, and that is picture-in-picture essentially. And both the Xbox and the PS4, for about the same price, you can have picture-in-picture, and you don't have to worry about another webcam to to show your picture and
Yep.
has your live chat built in. And yeah, it's so easy. I have a question for you, Lloyd. So
Sure.
before the launch of this console gen, there's a lot of talk of a lot of naysayers is saying this might be the last console generation we ever have.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't agree with that.
No, I think there'll at least one more set of consoles. There'll be whatever the sequels or the next gen version of the current stuff is, and then maybe that will be the last one, depending on how good game streaming becomes in 10 years.
Well, and that's exactly what I'm thinking is that what actually you're referring to game streaming, like streaming of games like Gaikai, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
In 10 years, hopefully internet speeds have increased tenfold.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to do that without any sort of weirdness or lag.
Well, so one thing I think is going to be a boost for this console gen, and one that will elevate it above the last and really provide some of the steam needed to propel this console gen to the next one is this ability to easy stream. You just compared the two costs of what's possible for about the same amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
For the week of February 3rd, there was some big Twitch news is that it surpassed both Hulu and Facebook as far as total internet traffic yeah.
It's ridiculous.
and so I feel like that alone with the popularity of Twitch streaming, and you don't have to be someone who gets paid to do this anymore. You can be anyone, and if you're interested in Lego Marvel Superhero, you want to see some random person doing it, then you just jump on.
Totally.
And I think
if you're on the fence about buying a game, even it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go watch some people play it, and it's like, oh, okay, that looks like something I'll enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Prometheus in the chat room said that he popped in randomly one night and he saw me beat Knack. He was watching the credit scroll at the end of Knack, and that's actually one thing that I kind of felt guilty of. It's like, okay, I beat the game and I'm sitting back there. I'm like, this is awesome. And it's like, wait a second, I'm streaming the end of the game. What if someone just pops in and then sure enough I saw the viewer count go up by 1? It's like, gee, I wonder who that is. And sure enough it was Prometheus, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, it's just like some people can't afford games, and this instead of going over to your friend's house and watching them play RC Pro-Am on their NES, now you can sit in your house and you can watch someone basically start a game and finish it. My only want is for PlayStation to turn on the save video function on Twitch, because I had a full playthrough of Knack that I could have chunked up into little tidbits or whatever, and that just disappeared. Xbox isn't going to have that issue because that is going to be available right from day one.
Yeah, and I think that's where the news of Xbox getting Twitch this week really kind of comes into play, is when you start comparing the two experiences.
Yeah.
But it's going to be near identical eventually.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 4 has had it for months. The Xbox is yet to get it, and they have a dedicated app. It's not built into the hardware like the PlayStation 4.
Sure.
And it's my understanding that's actually what's preventing that archival feature is
which I think is hooey, because you're streaming this video source to a server that is then taking that, transcoding it to a bunch of different bit rates and pushing it back out to people. All you have to do is fork that to a hard drive somewhere. So that's definitely it's a PlayStation a limitation, I guess. They don't want people to be able to do that for whatever reason. But that's going to happen in the future. Yeah. It's got to happen. It's a big request.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens very, very soon now.
On this news, on the day of it coming to Xbox, you know Sony isn't going to want Microsoft to one up them on anything. And then speaking of one upping, with all of this talk about it coming to Xbox, Sony just kind of one-upped Microsoft again with the whole live streaming thing. Looking at the Twitch Plays Pokemon, where people are basically massively together and against each other playing a game of Pokemon just by sending the commands to the channel. There's going to be games coming out in the near future on the PlayStation 4 that will allow that. The first one is Dead Nation, which is going to be a free game coming next month. It's a dual stick zombie shooter type thing. But you're going to be able to watch someone stream and basically spawn other enemies for them. You're going to be able to give them health packs and all that stuff just by saying the right thing in the channel, which is pretty cool. And then there's another game coming out, which I can't remember the name of it, but you're going to be able to interact even more. Like I was listening to a podcast, and apparently one of the commands you can do is you type meow in the chat room, and then a cat starts meowing in the game for the person that's playing it. And this is because it's a system-wide tie-in. It's not just a stream that's happening in the background. This is tied into the OS of the PlayStation. So you're going to have games coming out in the near future where you can play together. You can have multiplayer without someone actually having a copy of the game, just by having them spew stuff in the chat room. I'm really excited about that. Like, as soon as I get Dead Nation for free, I will be playing that, and I'll be streaming it live. And I want to see what you guys, the listeners and the watchers, how hard or how easy you make it for me. It's going to be cool. Kyle K in the chat room is saying daylight, and that sounds about right.
I can't wait for the first Hunger Games simulator to come out and have that feature built in.
That's kind of what daylight is. I think it's kind of the tagline for it is: you awake trapped in an abandoned hospital. Your only source of light is your phone. You hit a dead end and must turn around, but behind you lurks an eerie presence and strange noises. And it looks really cool, actually. But I'm really excited about the people messing with your game while you're playing it thing. Yeah. I think that's going to be really, really cool.
That's cool. And although Xbox doesn't have that, it does have some neat community features. Anyone who's watching your stream, you can invite them directly to play with you, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
And in the future, you're going to be able to include their audio in the live stream if you want to.
That would be really handy.
Mm-hmm.
For
really Let's
handy.
Plays.
Yeah.
Or the grid.
Yeah, exactly. When we're playing Minecraft PS4, we don't have to run some crazy, stupid Skype setup like we have now. It'll just be, hey, Will, come play with me. And then you jump in and we talk to each other and then stream it. The one thing that I learned in reading all these articles is when you live stream on the PS4, so you have your 16:9 screen, and then you have a bar on the right and bottom, which display kind of your who's watching you and stuff, and then on the bottom is the chat. You can turn that off, so you can not care about that stuff, but just live stream and then get the full video on your own screen as well, which is kind of a neat feature. I'm gonna look into doing that soon.
When you do that, does it show at least activity, like how many people are watching?
Good question. I'm not sure. I haven't even tried it yet. I'm gonna hopefully do that. I'm gonna be hopefully playing some Thief tomorrow, so maybe I'll do some live streaming and try all that stuff out.
Yeah, the Xbox is, you can do the same, but one feature I'm kind of excited about that, because I've played some games being snapped and it just cuts off so much of the screen real estate. Yeah. I prefer not to.
Yeah, that's my thing. I have a 50-inch TV, and that's too small when I'm streaming and I have that bar on the side. It's just like, exactly. I want my resolution back.
Although I don't think it's coming out for launch, a way that Microsoft is kind of dealing with that, and hopefully PlayStation will get this feature too, is you're going to be actually able to see and respond to the Twitch chat on your smart glass device.
Yeah, see, that's what I was about to say. The perfect solution for this would be when I live stream, all of that follower count and chat messages would be on my Vita sitting right beside me. That would be, or on my iPad or whatever, my iPhone, whatever I have hooked up to my PS4. That would be the ultimate solution, because then I don't have to worry about my screen real estate being chopped up, and I could still interact with people without having to do it voice. Although interacting voice is probably a little bit easier and better for people. But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, this whole streaming stuff, like when I first started playing video games, well, not first, because that was the Atari 2600 and that stuff, because I'm pretty old. But when I first started playing like the NES and the Sega Master System and the Genesis and all that stuff, all I wanted to do was watch people play games, or read about people playing games, or play games, or think about games. Like that's all I did. Like I had a long commute to school and to work, and I would be reading like GamePro and EGM on the bus and reading game guide books and anything that I could do to consume as much about video games. And then I'd get home and then there'd be nothing on TV but normal TV sitcom stuff. And then I remember when G4 first came out, when it was like showing trailers on like that's all it was Trailer Nation or whatever the heck it was called. I can't remember. And I would watch that for an hour just because it's video game content and it's trailers and it looks cool. You don't need that now. You just flip on Twitch and you watch whatever game you want. There's someone playing it, and that's amazing. And I like it, but I talk to so many people that are my age and they don't get it. And then you talk to people like I'm in my 30s. I talk to people that are in their 20s and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's great." Like there's this generation gap already, and I'm not that old, so it must be scary if you're 60 and you're looking at this stuff, and it's just like I don't understand this thing.
What is this video game thing?
Yeah, like it's amazing, but I mean, it's huge. Like the amount of people that watch the World Championships for StarCraft and League of Legends and all this stuff. Pretty soon you're going to have more people watching that than say like ABC in primetime television, because there's going to be people watching online all over the world. It's a pretty powerful thing, and it's really, really smart for companies to tie into Twitch, and it's even smarter for Twitch, which used to be called Justin.tv. They changed their company name to Twitch, and that's their main focus now, because how do you make revenue with Justin TV? You do like pre-roll ads, but now you have tie-ins from other companies and you have sponsorships for all these tournaments. They must be making money hand over fist, even with all of the bandwidth that they're paying out monthly to stream all this stuff to people.
Yeah, it just blew up, and it's only going to continue to, especially with these new features.
Kyle K in the chat room says, for all the Canadians listening, he says they should bring back video and arcade top 10 to YTV. If you're Canadian, you knew what this was. If you're not Canadian, you don't know what it is. But basically it was a bunch of kids playing video games, and then sometimes doing like live video game things where they're like interacting with like fake video games on the screen, and it was just this great thing. But they'd get all the latest games that just came out, and you'd have all these little kids playing it, and it was fun to watch. You could do stuff like this on Twitch now, and people would watch it. Yeah, Nicholas Pickles, that's right. Trey Too Fast in the chat room. Oh boy, so many memories coming back. It's awesome.
Do you remember Nick Arcade?
We didn't have Nickelodeon up here in Canada, but that is very similar to what Video and Arcade Top 10 did sometimes, where you'd have the kind of the live video game stuff. They didn't do it too often. There was another show up here in Canada that did that more often, but I can't think of the name of it. But where you'd they had like video toasters, and they would overlay video graphics, and people be running around basically a green screen and interacting with it. It was a lot of fun to watch. Cool. Well, live streaming. That's our end of line for this week. That is the biggest news item to come out of this week. But what do you say, Will, we get into the rest of the stuff?
Let's keep it moving.
All right. Well, first up is free games. We promise free games. We're not giving you free games, but all the console manufacturers are. This is the time of month when we talk about all the free games that are coming out on both the Xbox and PlayStation. So for PlayStation Plus this month, there are some big games. They're leading off with a pretty heavy hitter, Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 3. So this is a game that came out not too long ago, like 6 months ago, and it's already free for all PlayStation Plus members on the PlayStation 3. Pretty darn cool. Some other things they're giving away is Dead Nation, which is that PS4 game we just talked about where you can mess with people. So that's a huge game. It's only a $15 download on the PlayStation 4, but still it's pretty awesome that this is going to be coming out for free. Thomas Was Alone, which is a really, really great independent title that is cross-buy, so it's playable on your Vita and your PlayStation 3. Lone Survivor Director's Cut, which is cross-buy as well. The Vita is getting Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. So freaking Monster Hunter is going to be free on the Vita, which is pretty cool. And Unit 13 will also be free on the Vita, which is a first-person shooter on the Vita. So lots of really interesting titles. What do you think, Will?
I feel like I should have gone first because Xbox doesn't have nearly that cool of titles.
Well, they never do. So
No.
that's not that bad.
No
We
surprise
expect it.
there. Yeah, I was telling you we were talking. I still haven't played Tomb Raider, and I have the original PS3, the 60 gig version.
That's what I have. But I
Still
upgraded my
kicking strong.
yeah, mine still works. It gets really hot, but I just I popped it open, took out the 60 gig drive, and I popped in a 500 gig, and now I have got plenty of space, which is pretty cool.
Maybe I should do that because I was telling you I should pick up PS Plus just so I could play Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Oh.
Worth it. Buy like a 3-month subscription or whatever the cheapest is.
Yeah.
And then you could play Tomb Raider for what, $15 or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good deal.
Yeah, I these are awesome. I love seeing these great games, and I like the fact that Dead Nation's going to be free, especially with that feature. A lot of people are going to probably want to try that out, and it's cool they're giving that away.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
what about Xbox, Will?
We got two amazing games, both for 360. Don't worry, all you next gen gamers out there. We don't want you to get too excited with that plethora of games you have to play, so they kept it on 360.
Yeah, you'll be busy with Titanfall anyway. You don't need free games.
That's true.
Yeah.
Civ Revolution and Dungeon Defenders, both of which I've actually played on my iPad, ironically enough.
It's pretty funny. Civ Rev that's an older game. And it's $20 on the Xbox Live Marketplace right now, so it's not terrible. It's not like it's a super cheap game, but it's really fun if you haven't played it. And Dungeon Defenders, I too have played it on my iPad, and I tried playing it on my PS3 when it first came out, and it was not very good. So
Really?
I'm playing it on the iPad mostly, and I think even then I played it 5 times and said, "Yep, that's enough of Dungeon Defenders."
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's kind of like a reverse tower defense thing. You're setting up the towers, or I guess it is kind of tower defensey because you're not.
It's a little of both, I think.
Yeah, like you can attack directly and set up towers and do that fun stuff. It was a fun game.
Yeah.
Just came out at a weird time. I guess there was a lot of games coming out when that came out, so I wasn't too psyched for it.
That was my thing exactly. I mean, if you're playing on 360, definitely pick up and you're on gold.
Yeah.
Pick up both of these and at least give them a shot. But I feel like Dungeon Defenders will be pretty fun with a controller.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So that's your free games for the month of March. I can't believe it's March already, which is
Crazy.
which is ridiculous. Actually, it's not March yet. It's March in an hour from when we're recording this, but that's pretty ridiculous. Okay, moving on. Sony had a big launch last week. That was the PS4 launch in Japan, and they did pretty good. Sony sold 322,083 PS4s in Japan for its first 2 days on the Japanese launch. In comparison, the PS3 only sold 88,000. Which both paled in comparison to the PS2. I think the PS2 sold like almost 1 million in its first week in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, it was a huge seller. But yeah, I mean, 322 is pretty good for this day and age when a lot of people are playing stuff on portable game systems and smartphones.
All my numbers are getting mixed up at this point. Do you know how much was sold here in the States or
It was 1 million.
North America?
Million.
The first 2 days?
The first day, first 24 hours, I think they sold 1 million.
So is 322 good?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the console's home country.
Yeah.
And
the amount of people that are in Japan is pretty much the same amount of people that are in Canada or the same amount of people that are in, like, say, New York. Like it's Japan's huge for gaming, but it doesn't have a huge population. Like
Okay.
it doesn't have the population of all of North America, for example. So 322 times that by 10, and that's kind of what our numbers would be in North America. So it's a pretty good launch for Sony, and it definitely says a lot of things when the PS3 only sold 88,000.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a step up, and it just shows that the console was it didn't piss off a lot of people that it launched everywhere else except for Japan first, which is the opposite of every other Sony release, where it's been in Japan for months and then finally comes out in the other parts of the world.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, moving on. There's some Titanfall stuff that leaked out a while ago, but Microsoft finally admitted to it. So why don't you talk about Titanfall, Will?
Yeah, so I guess Microsoft is releasing a Titanfall bundle, which is going to be the console, the game, and 30-day subscription to Xbox Live for the same price as a standard Xbox One. So if you haven't gotten one yet and you plan to in the near future, hold off until March 11th, and you can get one of those Titanfall bundles. Nothing about the console itself, even though they're calling it a special edition Titanfall bundle, nothing about the console itself is any different.
Yeah, it doesn't have that cool Titanfall exclusive controller or anything. It's just the normal box with a different piece of cardboard over the top of it, pretty much.
So what do you think about this? Is this I care not. I feel like I've paid a premium to have the console for 4 months when this one comes out. But why do you think they're doing this? Is it needed? I mean, There's no doubt Titanfall is going to sell consoles, so why include it in a bundle?
They're doing it now. My thoughts on it anyway. They're doing it now because Sony is ahead of them in the console sales. And like, I can go to Future Shop right now, their website, and I could buy an Xbox One and have it delivered that day. PS4 is not there. And that's how it is across all of North America. PS4s are in limited supply. Xbox Ones are everywhere. Microsoft does not like that, obviously, because they're behind over 1 million units sold, which looks really bad for them. So they want to get as many consoles sold. Titanfall is going to be their biggest release, and it's an exclusive. They've already paid whole piles of money to get the exclusivity. So what's more money thrown into the pile? But if this helps them push more Xbox One consoles into people's houses, that is a big win for them. The thing that kind of shocks me a little bit is you're basically doing a $60 price drop on your console 3 months after launch, essentially. 4 months, I guess. That is kind of surprising to me. And that is also something that is probably pissing off a lot of people that bought the system on day one for Titanfall and now have to buy Titanfall where everybody else that is buying now gets it for free.
I feel bad for those people that bought a week and a half ago for the beta.
Yeah, totally.
That would be even worse.
Personally, just before we get any hate mail, I think those people are whiners. I don't agree with that at all, but I know there's a lot of people on the forums that are really, really angry at Microsoft.
Well, and I think this is kind of unprecedented for consoles. At least to my memory, I don't ever remember seeing a price drop this early.
PlayStation, the 3DS did it. I think it was 4 months after.
Was it 4? I thought it was like 6. I knew it was close. It was
5, something like that. But yeah, it was a huge price drop as well. And then there was the Ambassador program and all the free games to make up for it. This is just like, we're not dropping the price. We're just giving you a $60 game.
Yeah.
Shifty eye looking left and right, and guys run out the back door.
Well, and this is funny because some more One news with price is it actually got a price drop in the UK. So it dropped £30 to £399, comparing that to the PS4 $350. So it's still not on par with the PlayStation 4, but it's interesting that that they're getting a price drop and not the bundle, and kind of our version of the price drop is that bundle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. People are chatting in the chat room about NPD numbers and things like that. These Titanfall sales will not count in the NPD for the amount of units sold, because NPD doesn't track digital downloads for the first one, and they also don't track pack-ins anymore. And the reason why they don't do that is, for the longest time, if you remember back in the Wii's heyday, Wii Sports and Wii Play were like number 1 and number 2 for sales forever because they were pack-in games. They changed their rules to get rid of that. Just since I was being chatted about in the chat room, I thought I'd talk about that. But yeah, one neat thing to note about this as well is that they're not including the game disc. It's a digital download code. So if you don't have internet, you're going to have a hard time playing this game, well, because it's an online game anyway. But you're going to actually then get the system home and then have to download the full game, which I think they do the staged downloads now for Xbox, don't they? Or for when Titanfall comes out, they're going to do that where it downloads a small little get you into the game thing, and then you download the rest of it while you're playing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that on any game.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, how can they do that with the multiplayer shooter with randomized maps, short of just giving you one map to play? There's a pretty lengthy tutorial, and so I'm guessing that's going to be the thing that downloads first.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So. But yeah, the price drop in the UK, just to get back to that, that's even more surprising because you get the free game. And you save $60 on top of that because of the price drop. £30 is about, I guess, $50 US or whatever. The reason why they're doing that in the UK, I think, is because the UK has always been a very Sony heavy region, and they want to try to bat heads or bonk heads with PlayStation there and try to drive some sales. But I don't know. To me, this screams of desperation, which I think is a little odd. It seems to be a little bit early to be that desperate.
I completely agree. It's a little premature to be so reactionary. I still think this is a ripple effect of E3, and I can't believe we're still talking about last E3, so close to this coming E3. I mean, they panned themselves into a corner. I still think this is residual from that. They're still trying to do whatever they can, but yeah, I don't think it's needed right now. For all potential buyers, I'm happy for them, but I don't think it's necessary right now.
Yeah, can you imagine all the people that bought it like a week or two ago? Like not even for the Titanfall beta, but just bought it. It's like, yeah, Titanfall's coming out in March. It's in the store right now. I'm going to pick it up. Didn't buy a game with it because the only game they want is coming middle March. And then they see this, like how pissed off would they be? Yeah, I don't know. This is surprising. I've seen bundles near a console's launch before, but it's always like you get the console and you get a copy of a game and an extra accessory for the same price as buying the console and a game. So the real pack-in is that extra accessory or a different faceplate or something. It's not a free game that is also going to be $60 in stores. So yeah, this is really, really surprising. I guess we'll see what shakes loose from all this stuff. I'm really curious to see what the March sales for Xbox One are. They're probably going to be really high because you can go to most stores and find one right now. So hopefully they push a lot of that stuff out and get a lot of sales into people's living rooms.
So I don't have a PlayStation 4 yet. So I'm biased, but would you say the hype is higher for Titanfall than it is for Infamous Second Son?
Oh yeah, for sure. Infamous has always been kind of the redheaded stepchild of first person or first party titles on PlayStation. It's always been popular, but not like 10 million sales popular. It's been more like 2 to 3 million sales popular. So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for it because I've always liked Infamous, but yeah, it doesn't anywhere come near what Titanfall's hype meter is pointing at right now.
Yeah. So it'll be really cool to see comparing those numbers and speculating if we see a boost in PS4 sales as well, possibly for Second Son.
Kyle K in the chat room is saying also right now if you buy an Xbox One at Future Shop. So our Best Buy up here, you get a free copy of Rayman Legends as well. So you'll get Rayman Legends and then potentially Titanfall for free, which shows that they have a lot of these in stores, I guess. Like I'm looking on their website right now and I can buy it and I can reserve in store. You cannot do that for the PlayStation 4. So they're definitely they're feeling the pressure to get these things moving. Which is, I don't know. It says something, but I don't know what it says yet. We'll figure that over the next few months, I guess, as these things start all playing out.
Yep.
Cool. Well, let's move on. Hey, Will, do you want an Oculus Rift? You should go buy one. Just go pick one up.
I was going to actually. I went onto their site the other day and I was going to, but my order didn't go through.
Oh,
I,
did you check your credit card, make sure that no one's stolen your identity and bought a Ferrari or something? Because I know you got a pretty high limit on your credit card.
Credit card, yeah, it was not it.
Okay.
Even though I am saving, my excess credit card balance for that PS4 next month. No, the reason I couldn't buy them or buy one is because it's been temporarily halted. Dev kit sales because of components are discontinued. So.
And they won't tell you what it is, which is
No.
interesting.
At first, I thought I misread it. I thought it was some rare earth mineral or something that was used to create the product. I don't
It's the
get it.
unicorn tears that they sprinkle onto the inside of the unit to make everybody go gaga over it when it comes out. They just freak out. It's like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Because it's the unicorn tears. That's what does it for you.
I love it. That's the secret sauce. I was wondering about that.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not surprising. I mean, this is a development kit. This isn't the retail release. This is still, I think it's like 480p in each eyeball. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I thought it was 720 for each.
Maybe it is 720.
And 1080 is going to be the production model.
Yeah. After this article came out, it came out on the 24th. This was on the Polygon. They were contacted by the Oculus PR crew, and they said that these parts that have been discontinued, they're not going to impact the development of any of our other stuff. So basically saying that, yeah, it's something for development. That's fine. Our full HD, awesome, sell it to all the consumers version isn't going to have any issues.
Yeah, but I mean, that's an easy thing to say when there's no release date in sight, right?
For sure.
I mean, they're not making any, so.
I guess that's the other question. When do you think this thing's going to come out? Do you think it's going to be this year?
At the beginning of this year, I did. I don't know. I think E3 is going to be huge for Oculus Rift, but I don't know. I just have a bad feeling that we're not going to see it released this year.
I really want one. I really want one. My buddy has one. I should borrow it or something. That would be cool. But the other interesting wrinkle is the current scuttlebutt is that at E3, Sony's actually going to be showing off their VR headset they've been working on for a while. And some people say that it's an add-on. Other people say it's its own thing. So who knows what that actually is yet. But the current rumor is that at E3, Sony's going to be showing off whatever their VR headset is as well, which might light a fire under Oculus's butt to get this thing out, even if the SDK isn't 100% solid and ready for prime time.
Well, and supposedly Valve is working on one as well that is better than the Rift. Not that they are going to be the one making it and selling it.
Sure,
they're playing around with the tech and stuff, and they'll probably license it out. But yeah, I think we talk about a lot. Competition's good, and hey, whatever lights the fire for Oculus Rift, that makes me happy because like you, I can't wait to get one, and I don't care. I thought about buying one now. We talked about that a couple shows ago, but I held off on. I knew the build quality was going to be better, but I mean that's how bad I want it. And there's enough experiences out there right now that you could get plenty of use out of it.
I just want to play Minecraft with the Oculus Rift. Like even Minecraft would be made better when you're in first person. Like it would be awesome. I want it. Hopefully that'll be coming out soon.
I'm probably asking for trouble, but I want my roller coaster tycoon.
Oh, that would be great. Oh my God, I'd puke so hard. It would be awesome. Yeah, that looks really, really cool. All right, moving on. Our last news item of the day is a report that Seth Rogen, of all people, who was recently in the U.S. Congress talking about not marijuana legalization, which everybody thought it would be, but about Alzheimer's, which was kind of cool to see him out there.
Yeah,
and
that was awesome
to raise awareness. It was a really great speech. But apparently Seth Rogen is going to be collaborating with Evan Goldberg to bring a movie to theaters that discusses the big console wars of the 90s with the Super Nintendo and the Genesis and the Sega does what Nintendo don't and all that great advertising, all that stuff. Apparently that's what this is going to be. It's to adapt something that's called Console Wars, Sega Nintendo and the Battle That Defined a Generation, which is a book that will be coming out. But I guess they've already optioned the screenplay rights for it and are working on it and will be bringing it to theaters potentially. I don't know. I'm excited about that. Will, what do you would you go see a movie about the console wars, even though Seth Rogen is involved?
This was almost my top news story of the week. The thing I was most excited about. I would absolutely watch this movie.
I love Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
and he's
I
Canadian.
do too.
He's Canadian as well, so I gotta love him. But
I like him less now. Just kidding.
All the good comedians are Canadian. I don't know what that says
That's
about
true.
About you crazy U.S. people.
We're not funny. You found the only funny American here.
Yeah, you must be part Canadian or something.
Probably.
But yeah, I love Seth Rogen. He's the perfect kind of guy to be involved in something like this. And I would every day go see something about the console wars, but only if they include lots of scenes of Sewer Shark and Night Trap, which were the ultimate 90s console games from Sega.
Yes. Yeah, you were talking earlier, like you, I'm a child of the 90s / 80s. And I grew up on EGM and Nintendo Power and GamePro. And to be able to relive some of that in a video, I would eat this up, and I would love talk about a nostalgia trip.
Totally.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it kind of makes you feel old when all the stuff that you grew up with as a kid is now being like it's being talked about and movies are being made and stories and all that stuff. It's kind of ridiculous, but
we're seasoned.
Yeah, that's what it is. Sure, we'll go with that. Awesome.
But yeah, I would love to see more about the kind of that battle. I mean, we experienced it as consumers, but who were also kids. So yeah, and another cool part about this, the Social Network producer Scott Rudin will be serving as executive producer, and
cool. That
was one movie that really, really surprised me. I love the Social Network, and I'm hoping if this has any sort of vibe like that, not maybe as dramatic, but
hopefully lots of walking and talking, because that's what he does really well. So that'd be good. Yeah, awesome. All right, man. Well, let's get into the last segment of the show, which is our What We've Been Playing section. So, Will, what have you been playing?
Well, again, my list is short. I played a little bit of Battlefield this week. Mm-hmm. I played some Lego Marvel. I still haven't beaten that game. I don't know why. I know why. I forgot to tell you the story. I had to go. I got 3/4 of the way done with the game. Mm-hmm. I was at a boss battle, and I had to turn off the system. But I'm like, no big deal. I saved it at the beginning of the boss battle in one of those saving things. I don't know what I did, but I wiped all my progress.
You must have shut it off when it was in the middle of saving, like something like that.
Yeah, I must have. And then when I booted it back up, I'm playing. I was like, oh well, this sucks. I was like, oh well, I'm like one level behind. That's no big deal. And then I played that level, and then I played the next and the next, and I'm like, holy crap! I didn't realize I was so far behind.
Oh, that's too bad. I feel bad for you that happened.
Well, especially since I'm gonna have to go back again to unlock all the extra stuff too, right?
Yeah, totally. But, that sucks. Similar thing happened to me with Saints Row 4. That was a game that was freezing my PS3 probably a dozen times while playing it, and it always would freeze, and then I'd see the little save icon on the screen. It's like, oh no, I hope it wrote out to disk. It didn't just crash in the middle of writing out my save game. Luckily, I didn't have anything erased. I feel really bad that you did. That's a terrible feeling.
Well, there's definitely worse games to have it happen to.
That's true. That's
longer games and less fun to go back through. So
Very
it wasn't
true.
a big deal, but that's why I haven't finished it yet.
Cool.
And then I played a little bit of Battlefield and then Minecraft with you, which was, as we talked about, was a blast. I really wanted to pick up Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare this week. I couldn't do it. I know it's going to go down in price, and I know in 2 short weeks I will not play it for months and months. So I held off on that.
Smart.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play it though. It got really good reviews, and it seems like it's new and fresh for a shooter.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I really want that one as well, but it has an exclusivity window of a few months on the Xbox. So when it finally comes to PS4, I'll definitely pick that one up.
yeah. Hopefully by then I'll get it for free.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit of what I've been playing. The first one and my big obsession is a little game called Zoo Tycoon on iOS. I'm playing it on my iPhone. I'm just booting it up right now. Did I say Zoo Tycoon?
I think you did.
Yeah, I meant to say Disco Zoo. I was going to make a joke about comparing it to Zoo Tycoon, but I didn't. But I'm playing Disco Zoo, which is a freemium title where you basically are running a zoo, and you have to find animals by basically going out in a helicopter and searching them out. And you rescue them by doing little things where you touch squares, and if you find a little picture of an animal, then you have to find all of the versions of that animal. Like I just uncovered a moose, so now I have to figure out where all the pieces of the moose are. And they're set up with different tiles and things. So it's similar to like playing like a Tetris or something, where it's going to be like an L-shaped piece, or the little the little like pyramid thing, but that's each of the animals will be in a specific shape, and you have to remember what that shape is and then find them on the board, and then they fill out your little pens, and then you get money for the number of animals that you have, because people come to your zoo and check it out, and it's just this really cool little freemium time waster that I've been having a lot of fun with. So
I totally forgot. I've been playing that this week too. It's a
good?
fun game.
Isn't it really good?
Yeah.
I just unlocked the northern helicopter thing. So that's the fourth different type of pets. So I have lots of animals. I think I'm at 350 animals in my zoo right now, and it is a load of fun. So I've been playing that, and then on my PS4 I've been doing a lot of stuff. Strider, I picked that up last week and been playing a lot of that, and it is so good. It's a 2D Metroidvania set in the Strider universe, and it is a lot of fun. I got to really just focus and beat that one, because I've been bouncing around a lot between all the different games that I want to play, but I want to beat out Strider and just, I don't know, get the achievements and then replay it on a harder difficulty maybe. That'll be a lot of fun. Last Saturday, a buddy was coming over that wanted to check out the PS4, and I realized I didn't have a good bring your bro over to your house and show him your PS4 game, because as awesome as Lego Marvel looks at it, it doesn't look that great to show it off. So I went up and picked a used copy of Killzone Shadowfall up, just because it is one of the best looking games on the PS4 apparently. So picked it up and played a little bit of it. I don't like the game at all. I've never been a huge Killzone fan, and I've been playing games for my whole life. So instinctively, I know where I'm supposed to go in a game, just because I know how games are designed, and it makes sense. So if I have to go do something, it's like, okay, it's going to be in this building, or it's going to be over there. I don't know where to go in Killzone Shadowfall. It's just like you're doing weird things, like go plant the C4 here, and you go plant the C4. But meanwhile, as you're walking through the mountains hiding, you just get attacked by dropships of enemies that just keep coming, and it's just like, well, why is this happening? You have this little drone with you, and they tell you about all the different powers of the drone, but they don't really give you any clue that you have to start using them. It's just like, oh, you have this drone, and one of the powers is you get a little line that you can shoot across gaps and kind of climb across or whatever. So I'm at this one area, and I'm like, I don't know where the hell I have to go. And then sure enough, I'm thinking like, wait a second. I switch to that thing. I shoot the line across the area, and then I keep going. It's just like, oh, you could have told me that. You could have put an icon or something. Yeah, it's frustrating, but I'm going to beat it and probably trade it in and get Infamous Second Son. That'll be the first game that I will have traded in a long time because it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, that's interesting. If I got a PS4 at launch, I would have gotten that game, even though it hasn't gotten the best reviews. Visually, it looks great.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Some of the visuals, like you're in an area and you're looking over a city that is like far away because you're on a hillside, and it actually looks like it's a city. Like it doesn't look like just a texture that's just floating there in the background. Like it looks really, really good. I'm impressed by the visuals, but gameplay, not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
So it served its purpose as a bright, shiny object for your buddy.
Yeah, it's like, hey, look at this great game. And he's like, that's awesome. Yeah, let's check out Strider. I'm like, damn it, I should have just kept Strider. But anyway, Killzone Shadowfall, been playing that one. I managed to borrow a copy of Thief on its release day, and I've been playing through that a little bit. It's been getting really odd reviews, so it's getting 3 out of 10s on some sites. It's getting 8 out of 10s on other websites, and I kind of fall right in the middle. It's fun. It's horribly busted in some areas, but it's very redeeming in other areas. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. So hopefully I'll finish it off by the next time we do a show, and I can kind of give you guys my thoughts on Thief. But I'm glad I'm playing it on the PS4 because the cutscenes in the game look horrible. And apparently the visuals on the last gen consoles look very similar to what the cutscenes are. And it's just like, oh, all right. Well, I'm glad I'm playing this on next gen. It looks really
That's
really
a rarity when the gameplay is better looking than the cutscenes.
Yeah. It's just like, what kind of weird, bizarre world am I in?
Yeah.
It's odd. But yeah, so Thief on PS4 has been fun. And I've also been playing The Last of Us Left Behind, which is the single player DLC for The Last of Us. And I'm really, really enjoying that. So I will probably beat that one before any other one because that's all I'm thinking about right now is getting back in and playing some Last of Us.
That's cool. Yeah, I can't wait to pick that up. I keep forgetting about it, but I got to. I need some more Last of Us.
Yeah, it is so good. I jump right in the game and it's just like, I remember how much fun I had with this game. I got my game of the year, so I knew I had fun with it, but you kind of forget, and it's just like, I kind of want to play this game over again. It's like, nope, too much new stuff. I can't play this old stuff. I gotta soldier on and keep playing some of the newer things that are coming out. But yeah, this game is really good, and Left Behind is just this perfect little appetizer of gameplay to get you back in the world and back in the Last of Us kind of swing of things. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Cool. Can't wait to try that one.
Yep. We got a question from the chat room. Kyle K is asking, does Lego Marvel run better on the PS4 than the PS3? Because his PS3 version has some issues. And I have both, and I've played both, and it does run a lot smoother on the PlayStation 4. PS3 for me was a little bit framey in some areas where it was like really stuttery, and going from the helicarrier down to the planet like Manhattan was a little bit choppy in some areas. On the PS4 you can basically just jump off it with Iron Man and fly down to the surface, and it's smooth as butter, so it plays really, really well on the PS4. All right, cool. Will, we've come to the end of another DeREZD podcast episode.
No, the sad part.
It is a sad part, but this has been a lot of fun. I'm really, really digging doing the show with you, man.
Yeah, I'm loving it every week. I look forward to it. I can't wait until I get to talk with you and everyone in the chat again every Friday night. So yeah, outside of our grid sessions,
grid's been fun as well. But yeah, getting into the hour and a half, 2 hour long talk about different games. It's been really fun. So thanks everybody that's been checking us out and subscribing. Please subscribe on iTunes. Check us out on Stitcher. We're available in all the different places where podcasts are hosted. If we're not on your favorite podcatcher or platform or whatever, let us know and we'll be there so that you can easily subscribe to us. We want to make it as convenient as possible for you to listen to the show, and let us know what you want the show to become. If there's some features or sections or some other things that you'd like us to talk about, let us know. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and shoot us an email there through the contact form. Email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com, or call our voicemail line, just like NyQuil Dreams did, at 505 VG Podcasts, and maybe you too can get your very own achievement or trophy. And I don't have that sound handy, so I'm not going to play it. But you can get your very own achievement or trophy as well for sending in your questions or comments. All right, Will. Thanks again for joining me. I guess we might do a little bit more Minecraft this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna try to finish out our session from yesterday.
Very, very cool. So you guys can look for that. If you follow me at DazMe on Twitter, or at VGPod, which is the network Twitter account, that will definitely let you know when we're doing any of our live stuff. But even better, if you go to twitch.tv/VGPod and you follow us there, you'll get a little push notification on your iOS app, if you have that, on your Android app, or a notification through email that we've gone live. And that's probably the easiest way to figure out when all this stuff is happening.
Yep, and it's all the shows, not just the grid sessions, but all the podcasts as well.
Exactly. So everything that we do here on the network, you'll get notification, and you can come join in on the live stream. And to all the people that have stuck around to the bitter end in the chat room, Prometheus, Kyle K, Jay Carguth, DJ Lee, we had Trey Too Fast, we had a bunch of other people in here. I'm not seeing all their names handy. Thanks everybody that comes out and joins us in the live stream. It was a lot of fun. Yesterday for the Nintendo Pulse and the Minecraft, we at one point we had about 15 people chatting, and we had a whole bunch of people watching the live stream. It is so much fun doing this live and interacting with you guys. So thanks a lot for coming out and doing that with us. All right, well, I'm gonna hit the play the outro music button, and we're gonna call this one a close for this week.
That sounds great, buddy. Thank you, and thanks everyone in the chat room and listening.
All right, everybody, we'll talk to you in about a week's time. Check out DeREZD and more over at VGPodcasts.com. Take it easy, everybody.